edit.
Hello, Bonnie.
Good afternoon, Helen. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. Very well.
Excellent. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this wonderful film. I just absolutely loved it. And I wanted to ask you, how much were you aware of Maria Altmann and this beautiful painting before you even took on the role?
I was certainly completely aware of the painting. It was when I was a student in London, many years ago, but it was the painting that all students would buy a poster of and stick up on the walls of their bed-sitters, with some sellotape. So, an enormously famous painting that I've been aware of my whole life. What I was totally unaware of was the story behind the painting. And it was a shock to me, an absolute, complete surprise to hear this story of how it had been stolen by the Nazis originally, how it had hung in the Belvedere Gallery for so many years, and then this amazing story of tenacity on behalf of Maria Altmann and Randy Schoenberg to get the painting back to its not original owners, but the people who were now the rightful owners of the painting.
Exactly, and I understand, amazing story, that actually it was your dentist who helped you prepare a little bit to play Maria. Is that correct?
I misspoke in the excitement of the moment. It wasn't my dentist, it was my doctor. Big difference. My dentist called Mr. Goto, so certainly he wouldn't have a Viennese mother. So my doctor, his mother, who lives in Los Angeles, was very similar to Maria Altmann. She had a very similar background. She came from a very upper class, well, that's not the right word, but a wealthy, established Viennese family, then had to escape from the Nazis. So she had a very similar history. And so he very kindly sent me some film of her speaking, and it was absolutely right. She was totally in the style of Maria Altmann. There's a very specific style of that sort of Viennese elegance.
Absolutely, yes. I actually know a few women like her.
Do you?
Growing up, I had met some. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes. And speaking of Randy, you play with our amazing Canadian actor, Ryan Reynolds. You two had such fantastic chemistry together. How did you enjoy working with Ryan?
Oh, God, I have been quoted saying it's true. I must have done something good in my life to have been given the opportunity of working with Ryan Reynolds, because he's just the most utterly charming, lovely, easy, great guy to be with. And what's great about Ryan is he likes women. And now a lot of men think they like women, but they don't really. What they like is sort of the package. And they find it impossible to look a woman in the eye as if she's a human being. They only see sort of, woman or something, girl or whatever it is they see. Ryan sees the person and talks to the person you are inside of, the outside. So it's a quality that only certain great men have, and Ryan has that. And I warmed to him just immediately, and that's what made it so easy to work with him. And if you look at any woman working opposite Ryan Reynolds in a movie, you'll always see a wonderful performance, because he will allow that to happen. You think of Sandra Bullock in The Proposal, she's always wonderful, but he allows the chemistry to happen. He doesn't close it off. He's great.
Yeah. And what's amazing too is that our amazing Tatiana Maslany plays you in the flashbacks.
I know.
Did you spend any time with her?
Briefly. She's so busy, the poor little thing. She was, and only when you're young. But she rushed in. She's got her TV series that she's so brilliant in and is so demanding. And she rushed in and she did just a few days, and did her part so beautifully. She's a wonderful actress. I've been so lucky. The two actresses who played me, or rather I've played the older version of them, have been really great actresses, Tatiana and Jessica Chastain. So.
Yes, you're doing okay on your own there, Ms. Mirren, I have to say. But quickly, I have to address the fact that I was very lucky in Toronto to watch the audience on the big screen when they played it in the theater, when you did it on the London stage. Oh, it was the best experience I ever had, other than being in the theater. But now you're back on Broadway playing, your buddy, the Queen, again, in a different way than we've seen her on screen. But how are the audiences in New York different from the ones in London?
Well, we had to change certain little, phrases they didn't really understand. But basically, it's the same production. I have to say, probably improved, because the great thing is when you come back and do something again, you can rework it and develop it. We have a brilliant American cast, and not the whole American cast, but half of them are Americans, and they're fantastic. And then, of course, we have the wonderful American audiences, and they are so responsive, and they so love it. They love the funniness of it. They get the funniness of it, and then they laugh very easily, and that's wonderful to have that response. We're having the most brilliant response at the end of the play. It's brilliant. They even whoop and whistle at the end of the first act. It's great.
I love it. Well, come and do it in Toronto, because we'll whoop and whistle for you too.
Oh,
but
yes.
Congratulations on this. Thank you for bringing Maria's story to the big screen, and that younger generations will be able to continue to know this story. And as always, you're so fantastic.
It was a great pleasure for me to do it. Thank you.